Hi, and welcome. I'm glad you came to visit me. I'm Karen, thismainermom. Whether you're a mom of school children or homeschool children like me, you're getting your house ready likely for school books and notebooks and all the things that come along with school, and that's what I'm doing today, and I hope you'll join me.
This portable closet is in my dining room. It still has all of last year's books and notebooks and supplies and even a couple of laptops that we'll use for school. I had an air fryer on the top shelf that I got to find a new home for. I'm removing everything from last year. The books are going in a box on the floor, while notebooks and supplies I need to go through or might use this year are going on the dining room table. And by the way, that's our cat Woozy that you see in the background, thinking he owns the place. I've never had a real schoolroom. I've tried all kinds of shelving and boxes to hold the kids' books and supplies. With a big family, there's always plenty that needs to be stored. One year I even had the kids keep their stuff up in their bedrooms, but carrying it up and down the stairs every day did not work for very long. This is my second year using this closet, and I really like it because I can close the doors at the end of the day and not see anything. I like having that where everything is kind of hidden behind a closed door. I hope to paint it white, but for now it's brown, and that's okay. We'll paint it white later and brighten up the room, hopefully. So here you see my nice messy table. All the stuff I took out of the shelf is there, and I also have new books and notebooks that I've purchased, paper and such that I'll go through. But first what I'm going to do is wipe down the shelves. So here I'm just taking a cleaning wipe and I'm going through each shelf, little bits of pencil and paper and whatever, just wiping it all down, getting it ready to put things in for this year. So with that messy table, what I plan to do is put in the books and the easy things first, and then all I'll have left on the table is the things that I know I need to deal with. The way I do it is each of the kids has their own shelf. I'm homeschooling 4 kids this year and 4 different age levels or grade levels. So each of them get their own shelf. I don't have everything that's going to go on their shelf today, but I have most of it. So I'm just getting that all ready. Now what I'm going to be doing is taking out the kids' notes from last year and inserting some fresh blank paper. Are you ready? You're going to see my daughter Yvonne if you look to the right of the screen. She's going to poke in here. There she is. There's Yvonne. Say hi, Yvonne. Usually what I have is 1 subject notebooks, a bunch of them for each subject. And then they have the big notebook to put tests and any other work pages in. This year I decided to try just having the 1 big notebook for each of the kids, and they would divide it up according to subject rather than buying a whole bunch of notebooks. And then I do buy 1 notebook that's graph paper that I have them use for math. I have found it really helps them to have the graph paper for math to keep things lined up. You can see me chatting. People are kind of walking through the kitchen and they're all asking questions because, it doesn't really matter what mom's doing, does it? We're always available when they need something. So here you see, just filling those notebooks with paper. I just bought a bunch of college ruled paper, and each of them have their own big notebook. I'd love to hear from you homeschoolers what you do. Do you buy different notebooks for each subject, or do you do 1 big notebook? For those of you that don't have a schoolroom, where do you keep all your kids' school supplies? Do you have a closet? Do you have boxes? Do you have milk crates? Do you have shelves throughout the house? What do you like to do? Now, you'll notice you're not seeing a lot of literature books. We tend to get our books that we're reading from the library. I try to do that. I've decluttered a ton of books. We do have many shelves in the basement. Sometime I'd like to show you those. But mostly, I have just the bare minimum, and then we are constantly using the library. We love the library, and we use our town library, and then we use the closest city library. I found that I just had too much and I couldn't keep track of it all. And every kid's different in what their tastes are. So what works for one child doesn't work for another. So I found it better, rather than trying to buy the books that we need, and I know a lot of people love to have a library, I found what works better for us is using the library. So what do you do? Do you like to use the library, or do you like to own all of the books that you're going to use? I would say the exception of that is Christian materials, Bible materials. Those I tend to buy. I can't usually find what I would want in the library, and I'm not a great fan of interlibrary loan. A little too much pressure to get things in on time, because that is not my strength. Back to my shelf, what you saw on the top shelf is I store all of our paper, spare notebook paper, computer paper, cardstock, and then regular colored paper. We will be doing some lap books this year for my 6th and 7th grader, and then I keep the laptops there beside the paper on the top, and a hole punch. Then on the bottom left there, those are books and materials that more than one child is going to use. So I keep those all on one shelf. That way they have easy access to it. So that's what you're seeing there. Now it's time to get the trash put away. We're slowly getting this table cleaned up. Now you're going to see my quirky side. I love my Ticonderoga pencils. They're the only pencils I use. But look, I store them lead side up. I just feel like it keeps them sharper longer. And the kids are used to it, so they don't stab themselves. So that is how I like to do it. And I love these Ticonderoga pencils because other pencils, the lead breaks in the middle. Now I'm going to realize, hey, wait, I need to put some pens in here. So putting the pens in, getting those all ready to go. I usually have my kids use pencils, but I'm trying to work more into pens and get over my perfectionism of wanting them to be able to erase. Now this box is just any little extra thing. I have index cards and post-it notes. I have grease board markers, because we do use grease boards quite a bit. Getting rid of a broken ruler and just getting that restocked for the year. Once I get that all packed up, then I put the grease boards on top, and that's going to go in the bottom right of my closet. Now, this is me fighting like you would not believe to get a calculator out of its packaging. Oh my goodness. See? Look of frustration, and now victory. All right, we're almost done. We're getting the last few things into the closet, making sure everything's right where it needs to be. And then all I need to do is come back and get the notebooks we're not going to be using. These are last year's notes. I'm just boxing those up. I'm going to go through them another day. What I normally do for what I keep is I keep high school materials, all the notes and everything. If you're in high school, I keep. If it's not high school, the kids have been assessed according to the laws of the state that I live in. And so I don't feel a need to keep that stuff. I do keep high school things in case I have a college that wants me to prove they did something. I've never had a college do that. I have had 3 kids that have gone to college. I have 7 kids total, 3 that have gone to college, and then 4 that I'm homeschooling. And I've never, ever been challenged by a college. But I do keep high school things just in case. So I'm going through the notebooks and the notes, deciding what needs to be kept. That stuff goes in the box, and I'll label it as Fran's sophomore year, because that's what we had for high school last year, my son Fran. And then the girls' things, there were 6th, 7th, and 8th last year, so I don't feel I need to keep that stuff. That stuff's going right in the trash. So we're just finishing that up right now. Another thing you're seeing me do is taking out pages in a notebook that were used when the whole notebook wasn't used, and then we can be using those again this year if we need those subject notebooks. If you made it this far, I just want to thank you so much. I hope that it encouraged you. I hope it gave you some ideas. I hope you'll consider subscribing. There's my finished closet, all ready for this year. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.